Do you think you know No Man's Sky? Think again. The biggest update of 2025 has just arrived, and many people haven't even noticed all the changes it brought. New planets, hidden resources, and even mechanics that will totally change the way you play. In this video, I'm going to show you everything that's changed and why this update might be the game's turning point. Prepare yourself because you'll be surprised. I'm Matthew and the video is about to start. The Expedition Breach update for No Man's Sky brought a completely different atmosphere than what is usually seen in other space journeys, taking the game's always possibility-filled vibe and throwing it into a desolate and even somewhat sinister scenario. The idea of exploring purple stellar systems, with planets that seem to have been forgotten by the universe and abandoned to their own fate, gives a sense of isolation and mystery. I've never felt so strongly before in the game. The developers really managed to transform the experience's vibe. Instead of discovering vibrant civilizations or funny creatures, you enter this universe where everything conspires to make you a little uncomfortable. One of the characteristics that most plays with the imagination are these deep, abyssal oceans. If water was previously just another beautiful element to compose planets, now it has practically become an invitation to the unknown. Diving into these abysses, knowing that danger might be right below, makes every expedition feel almost like a survival mission. There's something very special about exploring environments where nature itself seems hostile, which reminds me a bit of classic horror games, only mixed with sci-fi exploration, generating a very different tension. Another striking point are the supernatural entities present on these planets. It's not just about exotic aliens. These are beings that toy with the supernatural, giving the scenario that almost Lovecraftian touch of suspense. It's the kind of change that makes any player rethink everything they knew about creatures in No Man's Sky. With every encounter with these entities, that doubt hits. Should I interact or is it better to flee? Having this supernatural element so present makes the expedition feel more like a spiritual journey than a simple planetary visit. And then the volatile gaseous giants also appear. I always imagine gas planets as background landscapes, but here they become protagonists of danger, always threatening to explode or completely change the surrounding environment. You can feel that these planets were created for the player to never feel comfortable. Everything could turn into chaos at any moment. This dynamic brings a pleasant sense of unpredictability and reinforces this intergalactic survival theme. Exploring systems like this, it's easy to understand that every decision can be the difference between getting rare resources or being swallowed by a gas storm. The limited time of the expedition, about 3 weeks, is a brilliant move. It forces everyone to leave their comfort zone and dive headfirst into exploration, knowing they can't postpone. The sense of urgency transforms even simple tasks into something more exciting, as if living a unique event that won't be repeated. This feeling is reminiscent of those classic games' temporary campaigns, where participants feel they were part of something special. I personally really like the idea of being pushed to experience everything without delay. Expedition Breach really messes with those who enjoy immersive environments and experiences that deviate from the standard. The desolate climate, the constant dangers, and that supernatural mystery put the player in a state of almost permanent attention. It may not please everyone, especially those who like to explore the cuter universes of No Man's Sky, but for those who enjoy innovation and feeling that chill down their spine, it's an update to be remembered. If you want to live an adventure full of tension, this is the right time to give the game's infinite universe another chance. The space derelicts arrived in No Man's Sky as that extra spice for those who enjoy mystery, exploration, and non-basic rewards. Instead of being just another visual detail thrown into space, these wrecks have become central scenarios of adventure and danger, floating like cosmic ruins and promising exclusive rewards for those who dare to investigate the unknown. Every time you come across a derelict, it's impossible not to feel a mixture of curiosity and alertness, that feeling of being faced with the remnants of stories that even the universe cannot explain. One of the positive points of this mechanic is that the derelicts are almost like sinister surprise boxes. You can enter, explore dark corridors, find rare components, luminous effects, and all sorts of lost items in hostile environments. You can see that the developers created each wreck as a kind of living puzzle, where every expedition is unique. You never know what you'll find, and that feeling of being alone on a gigantic abandoned ship is attention-grabbing. Besides visual resources, exploring derelicts now has a real impact on gameplay. The collected items are used to unlock rare modules and parts for ship construction, from vertical elements, Atlas-themed parts with brilliant effects, to special engines. This creates a cool loop. The more you explore and rescue, the more your arsenal and assembly creativity expand. It's the kind of reward that inspires you to invest time in the workshop and test absurd new combinations. The atmosphere of exploring wrecks mixes almost spatial suspense with nostalgia for the good times of investigative games. It's impossible not to remember the classics where every corridor could reveal dangers or hidden treasures. Although No Man's Sky has never been considered horror, the derelicts bring this somewhat nerdy Halloween vibe, especially with the dark narrative proposed in the new expedition, where the search for answers puts everything at risk. Another personally fun point is the sense of community. Knowing that other people are discovering the same rubble, comparing findings and exchanging tips makes this update an invitation to share experiences and solutions with other players. It gives that feeling of being in a collaborative space race, trying to unravel as many mysteries as possible before the expedition ends. Space derelicts brought back, with more intensity, that sense of isolation and wonder that marked the first moments in No Man's Sky. You go out exploring, completely blind, not knowing if you'll find a tragic story, a valuable treasure, or just pure danger. It's the perfect definition of space exploration, surrendering to the unknown and letting each journey be a unique narrative, full of possibilities and risks. And that's why this update has everything to be remembered by players, not just as another feature, but as a transformative experience within the game's universe. The new freighter parts in No Man's Sky, brought by the Breach update, completely changed the way these giant ships are built and customized. Now, instead of following a basic pattern, the player finds an incredible range of parts, from renovated landing gear to customized shields and exotic connectors, in addition to the long-awaited vertical and wedge modules, which open up new visual and creative styles for any freighter. For those who like to build ships with that unique look, it's the right time to take design to the next level. The process of obtaining these parts has everything to do with exploration. No simply buying or unlocking with points. Now you need to go out through the space derelicts, dismantle modules using the multi-tool, and take everything back to the workshop. This dynamic made every piece of ship found almost a trophy. Gathering parts of destroyed freighters and repurposing each module to create a cosmic mega constructor is part of the update's charm. It gives that pride when you see that every new detail came from a distinct adventure. Among the most requested novelties by the community are the Atlas-inspired parts, such as the Aeron cowling, Aeron diffuser, and the Aeron winglets. These modules not only improve performance, like the Aeron power shield for reinforced defense and the Aeron drive for extra power, but also bring an ancestral, legendary ship look with colors and shapes very different from the old ones. Adding these details to the freighter's hull transforms any spacecraft into a kind of mystical relic that commands respect even for the most demanding visitors. Another really cool differential. Now you can apply a color palette to the entire freighter, creating unprecedented visual effects and giving that personal touch to the ship. This feature finally allows the community to unleash creativity, mixing styles and themes, using the new parts to create complex silhouettes, from smuggler-type ships to heavy models that look like military hypertransports. This creative freedom makes all the difference when the goal is to show and share a unique ship with other players. The update also corrected old bugs, improved collision, and facilitated the fitting between modules, making freighter construction much more fluid and less frustrating. Previously, assembling a giant ship was a time-consuming task full of problems. Now, with the snap and collision adjustments, it's even enjoyable to experiment with crazy combinations, testing new configurations without wasting time fighting the assembly system. After building a freighter with the new parts, the feeling is that the game really handed you a blank canvas to be filled. Every adventure that begins in the search for modules turns into its own story. The desire to return to the workshop, fit that rare part, and see the final result is part of a cycle that motivates further exploration. In the end, creating custom freighters is not just a matter of power or defense. It has become a form of expression within the universe of No Man's Sky, which is not expected to end anytime soon. The Breach update in No Man's Sky took spacewalking and skydiving to a new level, especially for those who like to dive headfirst into new features. Walking through space became a fundamental part of exploration. Now, no simply flying over ruins or wrecks with your ship. You need to literally float through the vacuum, using the spacesuit to enter abandoned derelicts and search every corner for secrets and rare modules. It's like that feeling of being on a special, zero-gravity mission, where every movement can lead you to a treasure or create an unexpected danger. Entering the floating derelicts, needing to find items, decipher crew logs, and escape traps, like locked doors or explosive vacuum, gives a great sense of suspense and autonomy. There are times when the silence of space makes everything feel more intense. It gives an almost real nervousness to know that, out there, there's not much room for error. These moments of spacewalking have become one of the game's highlights, offering adventures that mix exploration with threats worthy of the best sci-fi movies. In skydiving, the jump onto planets full of hostile atmospheres finally became interesting. The act of jumping from your ship in mid-flight, descending directly into abyssal oceans, gaseous regions, or exotic terrains, brings an adrenaline rush that is hard to describe. Each jump is unique, whether crossing cosmic storms or seeing the scenery expanding during the fall. For those who enjoy action and testing new mechanics, it has become irresistible to jump from the sky in search of hidden resources, or just to see how far you can go in terms of exploration. The collaborative spirit in this update was very present, sharing techniques for entering derelicts, tips for skydiving in different biomes, and especially sharing prints of the community's creative constructions became one of the great post-expedition fun things. Seeing that each player interprets and assembles ships with completely distinct ideas creates a feeling of belonging. It's not just about building, it's about being part of a universe where everyone's creativity moves the experience forward. A large part of the fun now are the challenges. Some wrecks require the player to master spacewalking to find hidden logs and decipher enigmas. Other planets can only be explored with extreme skydiving, where resisting atmospheric conditions is as important as knowing where to look. People who like to overcome obstacles will feel at home, as each mission has become almost a race of exploration specialists. Breach brought the charm of radical exploration to No Man's Sky, mixing the freedom of walking in the cosmic void with the chill that only planetary skydiving can provide. This mixture of individual adventure, community sharing, and new challenges creates a memorable experience, not just for veterans, but also for those who are just arriving wanting to try something completely different in the game's universe. The Fireship Arcadia storyline in No Man's Sky, brought by the Breach update, is definitely one of the game's biggest haunted surprises. Perfect for those who enjoy a horror and suspense atmosphere, especially around Halloween. By delving into this story, the player finds themselves on a mission to discover the tragic fate of the Arcadia, a Corvette that disappeared in the purple stellar systems, shrouded in a mystery worthy of the best terrifying galactic tales. The universe itself seems to root for keeping the secret well guarded, forcing every explorer to brave wrecks and face supernatural entities in search of answers. Exploring the remains of the Fireship Arcadia is diving into an experience full of scares and tension. Every piece of ship found carries truncated communication logs, abandoned diaries, and areas infested with spectral voices or echoes of bizarre events. You get that chill down your spine when you realize you are treading in corridors that served as a stage for inexplicable events, where the boundary between reality and nightmare is not well defined. The developers took advantage of the Halloween atmosphere to create oppressive environments, with dark lighting, sudden apparitions, and moments of silence that increase the feeling of helplessness. It's easy to feel the weight of spatial loneliness when coming across portals sealed by some mysterious force and enigmas based on the traumas of the Arcadia's old crew. It's impossible not to wonder what really happened, and if you are also being watched by something that inhabits this dark corner of the universe. During exploration, the player faces supernatural challenges, vengeful specters, hostile entities that appear at the most critical moments, and puzzles that use elements of psychological horror. With each advance, you feel more involved in the narrative, as if each assembled piece were a sinister revelation about the final fate of the Corvette and its crew. It's the kind of plot that messes with the imagination and makes every attempt to go deeper worthwhile. The community atmosphere was also incorporated, with exchanges of theories, frightening images found in the wreckage, and even thematic constructions that recreate the most striking scenes of the story. This union of players to decipher every secret of the Arcadia further strengthens the feeling of experiencing a special event, transforming the Breach into a true collective spatial suspense experience. Exploring the haunted mystery of the Fireship Arcadia has become one of the most memorable experiences in No Man's Sky. The dark atmosphere, combined with elements of horror and deep narrative, brought that classic Halloween feeling to the game's universe, leaving everyone with a chill and a good dose of curiosity to discover where this plot is going. It's the kind of story that leaves its mark and will certainly generate many debates among fans for a long time. Breach, brought a very welcome visual and biological renewal to the exploration universe, with the addition of new plants in each type of planetary biome that immensely enriches the experience for those who like to discover living details in every corner. Each biome, which already had its visual identity, gained a greater variety of flora, with plants that are not just decorative, but deliver distinct sensations according to their environment, from arid deserts to alien forests and frozen zones, increasing immersion and reminding us why exploration is so surprising. What personally draws the most attention is how these new plants give a freshness of life to environments that previously seemed static or repetitive. Finding an exotic plant species on a frozen mountain or a bioluminescent shrub amidst an abyssal ocean creates a stronger connection with the planet, making the act of exploring something that goes beyond pure collection, almost a contact with a living organism that inhabits that inhospitable world. This diversity translates into more challenges and unique discoveries. The addition of details in the plants also influences survival and collection strategies, as some of them offer essential resources for item creation, while others bring dangers, such as toxic plants or those with unexpected effects, which makes expeditions more dynamic and enjoyable. This balance between beauty and danger is something that keeps the player always attentive, valuing the environment both for its aesthetics and its direct impact on gameplay. Another interesting point is the visual and sound feedback of the plants that enters the gameplay, with effects that vary according to the biome that the planet represents. Each location has its color palette, aromas, and textures, which helps to create that feeling that no planet is the same as another. For those who like to build bases or set up stations, this variety also provides new opportunities to create unique and original scenarios. The community has reacted very well to this addition, sharing impressive images of the new plants in their favorite worlds, which only increases the collective interest in exploring more and more unknown planets in search of rarities and natural beauty. This interaction shows how small changes in flora impact engagement and create a more collaborative atmosphere within the game's galaxy. The inclusion of these plants and the revitalization of the biomes transform exploration in No Man's Sky into a richer and more sensory experience, reinforcing the feeling that the universe is vast, full of life in such varied states that the unexpected is always lurking. For those who love the visual aspect and the natural curiosity of the game, this update is a true celebration of alien biodiversity, which promises to keep expeditions always interesting for a long time. The Expedition Breach rewards in No Man's Sky bring a very attractive combination for fans of customization and collectibles within the game's universe. Among the highlights are the decorative posters that add a unique touch to players' bases and stations, such as the Event Horizon and Eternal Serpents, which bring that astral and mysterious atmosphere of the expedition, reinforcing the dark and intriguing atmosphere of the expanded content. Furthermore, the update offers exclusive trails for ships, such as the Aeron Starship Trail, which makes spatial movement even more stylish and visually striking. This visual customization is a detail that values the experience of those who like to show off their ship in all its glory, especially after all the adventure and effort required to earn these rewards. Another very cool point are the expedition's exclusive modules, which not only function as decorative items but also expand the constructive possibilities of the freighters, allowing creators to explore new styles and configurations, especially with the rare and Atlas-themed vertical parts. This reinforces the creative appeal and encourages deep customization of ships. A very special bonus for collectors are the limited edition Traveler and Gek plushies, which can be acquired until November 5th, creating a sense of exclusivity and urgency among players who don't want to miss this rare opportunity. These plushies are more than simple decorative items. They bring a personalized charm for those who like to create a cozy and themed environment in their bases or ships. It is important to highlight that all these rewards reinforce the community spirit of the expedition, motivating players to share their discoveries, constructions, and achievements, building a collective narrative where every visual detail and every exclusive item tells a part of the unique experience of exploring the desolate and mysterious universe of the Breach. Overall, the Expedition Breach rewards are proof of Hello Games' care in offering items that add real value to the gameplay and, at the same time, provide that personal satisfaction typical of collecting and displaying achievements within No Man's Sky. And for those who enjoy this style, it's well worth dedicating themselves during the 3 weeks of the expedition to guarantee all these exclusive items before the opportunity window closes.